Hello, it's Łukasz Woźniak from Go On Board. Today I want to talk to you about the game rules for The Witcher Path of Destiny, our latest project. In our previous video, we have introduced the game. Many of you have been asking about the gameplay details, and we will go through them today. This is a game that we have playtested through and through to make sure it is fun for Witcher fans and fans of good strategic card games alike. And we are excited to show it to you. Remember that this is just a prototype, so things may change, and if you have any suggestions, make sure you share them with us in the comments section. Each time you play The Witcher Path of Destiny, you choose one of three tales, not scenarios that are one and done. We call them tales on purpose. Tales have branching storylines, special components and rules, different complexity level, and large cards that help set the rhythm of the game. So you'll have fun getting to know the stories and different paths. But each tale can be played multiple times with no limit. So treat them more as game variants and game modes. We will talk about them in more depth in the future videos. Today we will use Striga tale, but we will focus on the main game mechanics that work in all of them. Each player chooses a character and gets the character components. 5 cards in the starting hand, unique for the characters. Player board with special character abilities. Each character has different abilities, giving them a different style of play. You begin with one available and you may unlock more as you play. You also get your personal side quest card that can provide you additional points at the end of the game. You also get a player miniature, markers, tokens, and other components. We set up the playmat, main action card deck, and tokens. There are a lot of tokens that we need in the game. So the game is divided into 3 rounds and each has 3 turns. And the game structure is written into the tail cards, so that deck of oversized cards will set the rhythm of the game. We will go through that, and after the last round, the player with the most victory points is the winner, the main character of the story. So we begin by reading the introduction that sets up the tale. I will not do it right now. It has the flavor info, but also important rules that are marked on the cards that note that some rules are changing just for that tale. We also have 2 symbols that will be active for the next round, so for the first round that we get into. So right now we got to the castle that is haunted, and we have as a group 2 things that we can do. We may use diplomacy and talk to the people, and use exploration and explore the castle. Look around. We reveal the next card and we see the 2 paths that we may take. And now we begin the first round of the game. In the first step of every turn, players draft cards. So starting from the player on the top of the initiative track, players move their miniature onto one of the slots in the playmat, and after doing that, they get 2 cards to their hand. The bottom spot also provides additional experience point if you go there. You can always go to the topmost spot and get 2 cards from the top of the deck, and there is no player limit that do that. When all players are done drafting cards, we move to the second step, playing the cards. That step is done at the same time, so the game goes smoothly even with 4 or 5 players at the table. Players manage a hand of cards and decide how to play them, how to use them the best. So each player chooses 2 cards from their hand and plays them face down. And when everyone at the table is ready, cards are revealed and resolved. Cards have symbols that players collect. They have colors that interact with other cards or with special tale rules. Many of the cards have some special conditions that if you meet them, they give you some additional symbols or experience points. And each player manages or builds their own tableau, creating combos, gathering symbols, gathering experience maximizing their hand of cards. And the last step consists of placing the destiny token. As I previously said, the round has two active symbols that represent the collective actions that players take. So right now we are exploring the castle and talking to the people. Each player thinks of their own actions, but collectively the group is moved into one of the two paths. We look which of the two symbols is dominating for each individual player and place the destiny token on the path to which the majority of players lean toward. So here, the majority of players at the table move into exploration more. In case of a tie, which sometimes happens, we put the token aside to remember that the turn is done, but we have two more to go. We prepare for the next turn, so we set the initiative based on the position on the track. We place the new cards and the new turn begins. Observing what other players do is crucial, since it affects where the destiny token is placed. After the third round, we place the third token, the last one, and we see which path we have taken. This is decided with majority of the tokens. So the winning symbol is the one that gives us victory points. So collecting them is a key to victory. Right now, the exploration won. So for every exploration, I get one victory point. The other symbol, which is diplomacy right now, gives players experience points, and collecting them is crucial to unlocking our special unique abilities. So in each round, we build our tableau, our timeline of actions that we take as a character. We begin the second round with one card left, and the third round with two cards that we kept from the previous round. So we manage our hand of cards and try to play them in such a way that would maximize their abilities. That results in some exciting card effect use or some combos that you create in here, each time in a different way, each time affecting the path that we take differently. The player that had majority of one of the symbols and the other one get a special token, which will come in hand soon enough. And each player at the table keeps one card, or two after the second round, keep them for the next round, discard the rest, and reread what happened, follow one of the paths, and we read the setup for the next round. And there's always a small reward for the player that had the majority of one of the symbols. At the end of the game, we reach one of the 8 epilogues. Players gain extra points for their own side quest card, and for example in Striga we check secret mission cards and score points based on the final outcome of the story. And more of the specific rules of each of the tales in the future videos. So the goal of the game is to use cards and gather the right symbols while observing where the destiny takes us. So you want to be the one player that gets the most of the symbol that is dominating in every round. Also, each character has their different abilities and a different style of play, so you want to gather experience points, unlock them, and use them at the right time to move your position forward the most. And even though we live through a one tale together, only one person becomes the winner, the hero of the story. I have played each tale dozens of times, sometimes more than 100, and it's always an exciting competition with over-the-table discussions and twists woven into the tale, small and big gameplay changes that they have, and exciting, thought-provoking card play where you try to maximize the cards that you draft and use and observe where the group is going and try to follow the path of destiny. The game revolves around the tale cards that have 8 different epilogues and different effects that happen along the way. But different endings are only a small part of the replayability in the Witcher Path of Destiny. Each tale has special rules and components that vary each time you play. And most importantly, the core game mechanics of Path of Destiny makes for a very satisfying card game. So there's a lot of fun in drafting cards, managing your hand, building your tableau, and competing with other players. Not to mention different characters with their starting hand and unique abilities. So the replayability here is huge. As you may see on our preview page that you should follow, quite a few reviewers have tried the game already and praise it also for gameplay mechanics that it has. The game is playtested by our group of experienced developers for almost 2 years, sharpened and refined. So we have made sure that it is simple enough for less experienced players, but satisfying for fans of strategic games, even very experienced and demanding board game fans. So we believe that you will have as much fun as we do every time we sit down to the table. It is smooth to teach and play, very satisfying to Witcher fans, but to fans of good strategic card games as well. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. We will come with more videos and updates. Make sure to follow the project. You'll find the link in the description. And that's it for today. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.